Okay, one and all, to yet another episode of WhickTV, cross-ideological space where we come together both from the left, the right, the center. We talk about issues both political and cultural, from the silly to the serious. No, 𝕵𝖎𝖙, I just started the YouTube. It is not Twitch only. It is YouTube as well. I was just waiting on our guest to get here, but we'll see, right? We'll see. Yeah, it's one of those things where I get worried. I get worried, but I mean, he checked all the boxes, right? Said yes, he committed, he knows the time. Don't know what else you can do. Don't know what else we can do. So.
Yeah, no worries.
Did you watch the DeSantis failure to launch yesterday?
I didn't watch it directly, but I saw many videos dissecting that. And I was touching myself inappropriately while that was great. That was great. Oh my! I wish my friend 𝕾𝖎𝖎𝖙𝖘𝖍𝖔𝖜 would be on All Black Everything tonight. Actually,
is he a DeSantis supporter?
No, he's a Elon stan, and he is just awful. Was it last week or maybe the week before? I forget which one. But we had an argument about Elon Musk, talking about how brilliant this man is. I keep telling him how this guy's a failure, and he's like, "Oh, I can't." He says, "Well, people are criticizing him for firing 75% of his fucking workers, and but like Twitter seems to be running as well as ever." Is it? I gave him examples. I gave him examples at the time, but I wish this had already happened. Oh man, and it's predictable. What?
Sometimes that's nice too. You don't have the example on hand, but sometimes life, right? Sometimes life helps you out. Maybe there is such a thing as karma. Maybe there is such a thing as God, right? Because sometimes it seems the universe listens. My YouTube stream is offline. Hold on, is it? It says it's public, says it's on. People are chatting in the YouTube. I don't know what you're talking about. It's good on my end. Oh, well, hopefully. I don't know. Oh, it's one of those things.
Yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, last week, like Twitter service has actually been degraded. Talk to people. Like the service has been degraded. People and less people are using it. So I mean, we'll see. Look, it's like trudging along. It hasn't been a complete collapse in terms of Twitter in general. In terms of that campaign launch, that's a different story. That was hilarious, and it's so odd, right? Like that was like the strangest thing for so many reasons, right? One, why do it on Twitter Spaces in the first place? Why do it in audio only format? Like this is like since the fucking JFK debate, right? JFK with Nixon, yeah. Since we've understood that politics works better as a visual medium, and so to decide specifically to launch your campaign, which people here are used to seeing a a big splashy like visual treat, instead to just the boring ass audio only Twitter Spaces, that's a weird decision. And then secondly, the fact that Elon was so like immersed in it, right? It wasn't just simply using the space. It was that like they kept jerking off Elon and how happy they were that Elon was there and how he's being so fucking innovative and all that shit.
The dude has how many billions of dollars? If you are a politician and you want some of that sweet, sweet green, I can understand the jerking it off a little bit.
Yeah, fair enough. But like it's beyond that though. Like still, like I've never seen any other politician, like no matter how desperate they are, like include a billionaire, right? Just a random billionaire, not like Trump. Well, supposedly a billionaire. They've included Trump in their campaign launches, maybe, but like not include just a random person. He's just a random person, and he's like so enmeshed in it. Like they released a campaign video afterwards. Did you see that campaign video?
Yes,
launch?
Yes, with him going and in front of the big American flag. That one? Are you talking about that one?
Maybe there was lots of like
Okay,
random bullshit they put in there, but like half of it was DeSantis and half of it was Elon. This is his campaign launch video. Why? like,
look,
it's baffling. It's baffling.
it is amusing to me. Like I think it is to you, to everyone. We laugh at it because it's laughable, right? But a word of caution to temper our expectations. To imagine that DeSantis is a moron or unintelligent or stupid because of this would be a mistake. Like, we underestimate these people at our peril, right? I think that it's better, right? We can laugh at it. It's funny, and I will laugh too, right? But they are not stupid. This was a mistake, but that doesn't mean they're going to continue to make mistakes and keep making mistakes. And sometimes we joke and mock and things, and then we underestimate them, and then it bites us in the ass. Look at Roe v. Wade. We've been joking about that for a while, right? For years, like, haha, Republicans are never gonna do this. This is tilting at Will Mills, and we didn't take them seriously. Even the Republican politicians really didn't take a lot of these people seriously, right? But they just kept grinding and eventually got it, right? And so we just got to be a little careful from celebrating too much. Let me check my Twitter DMs real quick. Hold on.
Sure.
Gang, if you're just tuning in, Bryson Gray hopefully is on his way. Hopefully he's gonna be here soon. He confirmed with me. He yeah, I don't know. I Dragon for 250 bits. So is DeSantis worse than Trump? Good question. Is he worse than Trump? Under what metrics? I think he's more dangerous than Trump. I think that he knows how to play the game better than Trump when it comes to getting things done, right? In actual legislative form. But I don't think he has the charisma of Trump, right? I don't think that he has the kind of cult-like appeal that Trump does. So is he more dangerous than Trump, or is he worse than Trump? Hard to say. What do you think? What do you think, Prem?
So I think that DeSantis is an altogether more effective authoritarian than Trump is. I don't think like Trump really only cares about himself. Like his politics, like are strictly about himself and like his whims at the moment, right? He doesn't have any political moorings, and he's also a moron, right? Like he's also an honest to God idiot. And he literally doesn't understand the American government. So it makes it difficult for him to make changes into his thoughts into action, right? Especially if the people around him aren't being especially cooperative, right? But he's dangerous in itself because of his rhetoric and his ability to help undermine democracy and his action undermine democracy when the January 6th riots were happening. So Trump is an extremely dangerous individual. That's true. But DeSantis is sane, as far as I can tell. Not an idiot. I agree with what you were saying previously on that. Seemingly quite an intelligent individual. And he like knows literally the basics of the U.S. government, which is a step up. And has shown that through his various political machinations, he can wage war against his political enemies and succeed. So, and the war that he's waging is to literally lower or degrade our democracy, right? Like to make it harder for people to vote, to harass and terrorize people who are the least of us, right? So overall, I would actually say DeSantis is probably more dangerous.
I don't disagree with you. However, like we say Trump's an idiot, and that's true in a sense, but he's clever. He is clever. He is able to read kind of the currents and ride those waves. He knows how to manipulate people. That you can't take that away from him. Is that intelligence? Maybe not, but it's good enough for government work, unfortunately. It's good enough to get into power. He knows how to get into power. He knows how to manipulate people in order to get what he wants, right? Yeah, I don't know. Bryson isn't texting back. Gang.
It literally hasn't been a half hour. I'm telling you.
Okay.
You see me
I'm
on All Black Everything.
I'm hoping.
Wait,
I'm hoping.
half hour. So yeah.
That'd be
and
sad.
again, I'm all you need in your world. All
True,
right? So.
true. I mean, look, one black person is as good as another, right? In this place, right? Like they're interchangeable. My audience probably won't know the difference, right? They'll just, oh, this must be Bryson Gray. I've heard of this man. Like I don't know, right?
Oh God. All right, fair. But yeah, but I think that's an interesting question about like DeSantis and like who do Democrats want to face now? Oh my God! Like on the other side, it's not like we are brimming with talent here, right? We have Biden who is like degrading, right? Like rotting as we speak. In the Oval Office, he
Do you
like
wonder,
you can see.
Do you okay? Because this has come up degrading, right? Friedman was Senator Friedman. Is that her name in California? You haven't heard of this? She's literally has dementia. Like she has dementia.
Oh, Feinstein.
Sorry, Feinstein.
Yeah.
Excuse me, right? I got the name wrong. I don't think Biden has dementia, to be clear. But
I didn't say he had dementia.
Sure,
yeah,
sure. But when you talk about like degradation, like once you get to a certain age, it's much more likely to happen. So I don't think he's there yet, but I can envision a state where he would start to degrade, right? I think that the bully pulpit gives him I want him to run in 2024 if he's medically able. I do. Because I think that like giving up that bully pulpit would be a mistake, right? Giving up that like incumbent advantage, and it's an advantage, would be a mistake. But if he's not, you're right. I don't know of a proper replacement off the top of my head, right?
Yeah.
Not Kamala Harris. Oh, that would be the worst possible.
Kamala. I have so many feelings about this. So which is convenient because we need to fill in time. Yeah, Biden, for a like bog standard center right liberal, I think he's fine.
Biden
right?
isn't center. Okay, do you really
yeah.
think Biden is center right?
We will talk. Let me talk about that later. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We can just. But yeah, for that sort of politician, he's fine, I guess, right? But he is not inspiring. We can see this through the polls. People aren't rallying behind him. They voted for him as a vote against Trump. Right? Like that's what pulled people out. Not because Biden was especially inspiring, not because he was off. Well, I mean, he actually was offering some interesting things that he was pushed to by Bernie Sanders. But beyond that, he wasn't offering anything of any particular substance. He's just like, I'm not Trump, right? You had 4 years of this nightmare, and so I'm not going to do that stuff. And so people voted for him. But now going into this next election, I think he is, mentally degrading. Like if you compare a video of him now to like 10, 20 years ago, there's a clear difference in sharpness and how he can respond and interact with people, right? Like he was just like on the ball previously. Like even if I disagree with him, I can understand he was a sharp politician. But right now that's moving in the past, right? But then it goes, what are the alternatives? Well, RFK Jr., which great, like RFK, the anti-vaxxer conspiracy theories. So I'm excited. Interesting possibility. But let's see what else we have out there. We have Marianne Williams, who I think has a an inspiring message that no one will ever hear, because the DNC, being the piece of shit that they are, right? The faux party of democracy. It's like, yeah, we're not going to have debates. Of course not. Why would we have debates? That's silly. We're just getting behind Biden. We're just going to coronate Biden, just like they tried to.
You know why they're doing that, though, right? Like, you know why the incumbent party, right? I can't think of the last time the incumbent party has held presidential debates, right? I know it's happened. I know they've tried to do it at like conventions and things. Famously, when Ronald Reagan tried to disrupt the Republican convention back in the 70s, which led, right, to, I believe, a loss, right? I believe a loss for the incumbent party. So, yeah, I understand why the DNC wouldn't hold a debate during an incumbent year. Absolutely.
No, bullshit. Because, well, most of the time they go run unopposed, like Obama, right? He ran unopposed, right? It makes sense. He was a popular president, and
Clinton.
Clinton, as far as I know, ran unopposed, right? I wasn't born then, so I'll rely on old man Wick to tell me the truth. But we do have people who are running. Marianne Williamson, like, I think she got like 5%, like in the last polls. Like, she's a serious enough candidate. And there might be others who will jump in later, but still, even before the field is like set, right? They're saying, yeah, we're not going to have debates. Not even before then. But if we do have actual challenges, we should. And remember, right? The debates are free publicity. It gets your candidate up on
stage, yes.
Television news and cable news. It gets them in the news cycle again and again as people dissect their words. It's actually a good thing to have that free press, and it's like millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in free press. Without that, Biden will be worse off. He will be worse off.
I disagree, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so you want your character, you want your candidate when you're behind. When you're behind, yes, you want more debates, you want more appearances, you want more screen time, you want people to get out and see him because you need to change the game, right? But every time you're ahead and you have these appearances, it's a chance to not be ahead anymore.
But he is behind already. He's behind already against Trump.
Versus Trump. Polls. I haven't seen the latest polls. So I'm going to assume what you're saying is correct. Okay, but even if that's true, right? They're going to have debates between Biden and Trump, right? That's going to happen, right? But Biden doesn't need is another.
No. This is like the bog standard, like campaign consultant, like Washington campaign consultant advice that Wick is giving you. No doubt, fucking centrist. What can you expect? Like iron sharpens iron, right? Like getting your candidate in front of others and having them debate makes them stronger. It makes them better prepared. Because remember, not like they're going to be a whole list of many debates between Biden and whoever the Republican candidate is, right? Like Biden will have a very few opportunities to make himself heard by then. And the Republicans at that time would have, again, had millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars in free campaign ads. All the news cycles will be about what they're talking about what's going on with them, about what they want, about their priorities. And then none of that will be going to Biden. And then he comes in at September, let's say, or maybe like the very end of August, for a debate. And then you expect this guy who's already experiencing cognitive decline to be sharp without any practice beforehand? No, he desperately, like, even if you are a Biden fan, even if you're like rolling with Biden, you desperately want him to be debating. You desperately want him to be campaigning against someone. It'll make him stronger.
Okay, okay. I understand what you're saying. I don't necessarily disagree with it, but I think you're leaving out the crucial context, which you yourself brought in earlier. Biden is degrading.
Yeah, and so we can't hide
There
that.
is a hard... Yes, you want to hide it. If you want to win, if that's your only goal, If
You
that's your
have to
only
show
goal,
what is left of this like rotting fruit, that it's what's left is edible, right? This is a banana, a bunch of black spots on it, right? But you can still eat it, folks, right? Like you won't get sick. That's basically the game plan here. And the way to show that is to show him actually interacting, because he's going to have to do it eventually, right? He's
yes.
going to against the Republican candidate. So do you want him to without those billions of dollars of free ads, right? Without any of the advantages that comes with like the added attention, without the added friction, without any of that, going fresh to a debate against like Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis will kick his ass.
It's a cost benefit analysis, okay? Right? When you're looking at it, what gains, and you've outlined the gains that you think will come from it, but you're not looking at the potential losses. If he goes into a debate with the candidate you mentioned on the Democratic side, and then just gets crushed.
Well, that's good. First of all, if he does get crushed, right, then that's good. So if another Democrat crushes him and is a better candidate and it helps swing the election in their favor, that's a good thing, because of that person, right, will have gone through the gauntlet and will be the better candidate to face whoever comes out of the Republican side. So we actually want that. We want more democracy. Wick, as a centrist, wants less democracy. He wants less transparency.
I want to win.
He wants less interaction. No, I want to win. But you are doing everything you can to lose, though. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That even if you think that Biden's your guy, right? You're center right. If you think Biden is your guy, then you want him stronger. And like. Again, like look at the Republican, the 2016, the 2016 presidential run, right, where Trump won. That he came off the back of a whole series of debates, right? There was an endless string of those debates.
Because
you remember
when he started out, he had such little support.
But it doesn't matter though. That doesn't so
it does. So again,
hold on. But here's what happened though.
Stop. The scenario that you're painting, right, where some candidate comes in, beats Biden, and then we have a row, right, about who should be the nomination,
like Trump did
for 2024,
like Trump did. Right? So
Trump did not do that.
Point,
Trump was not the incumbent.
Your point proves my point. You're saying that Trump had like so little
they were not the incumbent
support
party
at the very beginning, correct? He had so little of and no institutional support, right? But through his charisma, through his hatefulness, and through the sheer stupidity of the conservative side, he managed to climb his way to the top of the pile, right? And what did he do afterwards? He beat Hillary Clinton. He won. He won the presidency.
There was no incumbent in that year.
The right person came out, and it came came out of that process, and that was a knife fight.
Let's look at 2016.
Again and again that he was the best, and so if Biden can't handle it. If Biden can't handle that, right? If he can't handle Marianne Williamson, right? Who's not like some sort of vicious debater, who's in some sort of, she's not me, right? She's not what I would, imagine what I would do if I was on stage with Biden. You know that would be terrible, right? But she's not that. If he can't handle Marianne Williamson, how is he going to handle Ron DeSantis? How is he going to handle Trump? He's going to get beaten. And so he needs to prove himself there through the gauntlet like everyone else.
Look. Let's look at 2016 example. Let's look at Biden and Hillary, or not Biden and Hillary, I'm sorry, Bernie and Hillary, and the level of animosity that came from Bernie Bros things towards Hillary and how that split us and allowed Trump to take the win. It really did. Like this.
Are you kidding me?
Fighting, right?
Are you kidding me?
It allowed Trump to take the win.
Oh my God!
Yes, this is what happened. This is history,
guys. Look at
this is history.
Wick, right? Look at Wick, right? Like the picture of a center right like supposedly centrist Democrat, right? Like this is the picture of that. When he takes that line that Hillary Clinton did, because Hillary Clinton can't take responsibility for fucking
Oh, she was a terrible
that she did.
candidate to begin with. I agree.
No, now she did a terrible job. Yes, she didn't stump in those in the states that she lost, right? She didn't even fucking bother going because this was a coronation for Hillary Clinton. Of course, right? She didn't offer any sort of compelling vision for the future, right? Because she didn't have to. She was the most prepared. Obama said she was the most prepared. Obama said she was the right choice, and so that must be it. And then after that, after she loses because of her own incompetence, then they try to rewrite history. That it's because of Bernie. Because
do you not think that had anything to do with it at all? Do you not think that was at least one factor at all? Do you not think that was?
It's a fucking lie.
So you were telling me, you were in all honesty sitting me straight face, right? Like without laughing, without cracking it up, like the joke that this is, the joke that this argumentation is. You are saying that the fact that there was a lot of animosity between Bernie and Hillary supporters that caused a non-insignificant amount of Bernie supporters not to vote for Clinton that had nothing to do with why she lost.
Hold on. But and they tried the same thing when Obama faced Hillary Clinton, right? People were trying to get ready to say, well, Obama loses, it's going to be Hillary Clinton's fault because Hillary Clinton, they called themselves like the women who were fans of her called themselves like Jaguars or something, like Pumas. No, Pumas. They call themselves Pumas. And I don't know why. There was a reason for that. But they called themselves Pumas, and they would never. They said they weren't going to vote for Obama, right? And people on the Democratic side got ready to spin that up to blame Hillary Clinton. But once they won, it was like, oh yeah, I guess it wasn't a problem. But the fight between Hillary Clinton,
hold on,
I guess you don't remember this. I guess you don't remember this. But the fight between Hillary Clinton and Obama, it was way more toxic than Bernie versus Hillary. It's not even close. You don't remember that because it was too far away, but that was way more toxic.
Okay, so first of all, Bryson apparently is on. He's like, oh snap, it's right now. yes, it's right now. So hopefully he'll be here in a second. Pray.
What I tell you, half hour. What I tell you.
Okay, fair enough. But look, again, right? We could say that it wasn't the main factor, but it would be silly to think it's a non-factor. And when we have elections that are razor thin in areas,
insignificant factor, yes, indeed, it was a factor.
I don't think it's an insignificant factor. They are razor thin in areas, razor thin. Okay, when you have that happen, you need every advantage. And the incumbency advantage that they would give up is significant.
They don't owe those Bernie bros and those Pumas, right? Those Hillary Pumas from years ago don't actually owe the candidate their vote. That candidate is up to them to give them a compelling reason as to join. Bernie Sanders did his job in 2016. Immediately after he lost, he was on the plane. He was flying all around, like doing a stumping for Hillary Clinton. Now, Clinton's campaign, once again, because it can't take responsibility for fucking anything, tried to pretend that wasn't the case. But he literally has the receipts. We literally have the tapes. We literally have him at those campaign rallies, stumping hard for Hillary Clinton, doing everything that he could to do that. Even when the Hillary campaign, like, ignored him and made it difficult for him to do so, he still did his job. But even then, it's not his responsibility to like beyond that, right? To make sure
I agree,
that
every
single person.
Okay, we're not talking. Okay, say Bryson did join. Just joined the server. I'm gonna get him to roll. We're gonna get him in here. But yeah, I don't disagree with you. But it's not the The DNC right now in this context has a responsibility to help that the incumbent get all advantages.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong.
It's
not for the incumbent. That's exactly wrong. Exactly. You keep proving what everything I think about you, right? You are center right. You are aren't so in love with democracy, with the system, right? Like you're like, well, it's the DNC's job is to help the incumbent. No, it isn't. It's to help the best candidate. That's exactly wrong. This is some Nancy Pelosi shit. When Nancy Pelosi did everything she could to lock out progressives,
I'm trying to help him get hold on. I'm listening to you rant.
Yeah. Nancy Pelosi did everything she could to lock out progressives. Her and her the DNC was like, well, if there are any campaign vendors who help a progressive but non-incumbent, well, you can't work with the DNC anymore. You're done. You're over. They did everything they can to undermine them. They've actually done Oppo research against new candidates, right? And that's disgusting. But we'll leave it there.
We'll argue about that in a minute. Hello.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, can you hear us?
Hello, hi.
Yeah, I can hear y'all. Hold on, let me try to.
Yeah, sure. You got a camera for us? Oh, beautiful, beautiful. How's it going?
Hello.
What's popping?
Oh, well, we're glad you're here. I was worried. I was like, oh, did he forget what's going on? But no, it's good to see you.
Yes, sir. I forgot the time. That's what I forgot.
All good. It's all good. Well, you're here now. That's what matters. So I guess my first question, right, that we've been discussing.
Maybe introduce him to the audience.
Oh yeah, this is. You want to introduce yourself? Tell people who you are, what you do.
Oh yeah, Bryson Gray. I'm a religious zealot and a rapper simultaneously. So essentially, that's pretty much what you need to know about me.
Noted. And also a valued guest to the WhickTV community. So thank you once again. Another feather in your cap, sir.
Awesome, thank you.
I guess my first question, I guess.
My name is Prime. Also.
Oh yeah, that's Primecayes. I mean,
all right. What's up?
Hello, hi.
Okay. A little. We're kind of mid a conversation, so forgive me. Did you see the DeSantis launch campaign yesterday? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I saw it. The way he launched it was pretty creative and unique, if I'm being honest. I'm still not gonna support him because he sent homosexuals baby onesies, so he can't get my support after that. But I do think with the Elon Musk Twitter space, I thought I was pretty creative, even though it has some technical difficulties. So I thought it was a cool thing.
Okay. He sent homosexuals baby onesies. Can you tell us about that? I don't know about this.
Dave Rubin, who's a popular person who's a liberal, even though people call him conservative, he has a partner in crime, which he calls his husband, but that doesn't exist, so it's a partner in crime. And they bought babies like cattle. So, they went and looked up women with the highest IQs, and, they pretty much bought a baby out of the catalog like they were just like, nothingness. And Ron DeSantis sent them baby onesies. And I was like, that is like kind of disgusting for you to even support such a thing. So that pretty much turned me off on DeSantis right then and there.
So you're still on the Trump train then for 2024?
No, Trump had a LGBT gala at Mar-a-Lago, and he wants to soften the tone on abortion. So he's a weirdo too.
Okay, well then who are you supporting? Who's got your vote coming up?
I don't know if you know this artist named Keith Sweat. He has super popular. Keith Sweat is an R&B singer. He has a very popular song called "Nobody."
Fair enough. Oh,
well, can I ask then? What are you looking in a candidate?
So I used to want them to just at least pass legislation that would sort of protect Christians from what's happening to Christians nowadays. But because Republicans moved more left wing, I've actually become more of a one issue voter. And if you're not a biblical person and you don't have biblical policies, then you won't get my vote.
Okay. What is happening to Christians that they need protection from?
I'm gonna use myself as an example, then I'm gonna extrapolate it for you. But so on Spotify, I was one of the first artists. I was the first rap artist ever to have music actually banned, not for buying fake streams, not for doing anything I'm not supposed to do. I had a music banned, not from a playlist. I'm talking about my music was removed from the platform for hate speech. And it was because of my songs that told the biblical truth about the topic of LGBT. They didn't do that in any of my songs about abortion. The LGBT, they did it. Then they did it on numerous occasions. Now, this should be one of the biggest stories in hip-hop history because this happened before when they were trying to ban NWA and people like that, there was an outrage about it. But I guess because I'm more right wing, that people just let it slide. But and now it's happening to multiple artists now, and that's just me. But you extrapolate that out, it's happening everywhere.
Yeah, but this is not like what you described isn't like a Christian problem. It's like a YouTube thing, right? Where
No.
YouTube takes down content. Sometimes they call hate speech. They like a left winger doing a video about Nazis can get their content removed. I mean, our friend Chuck Logic, right? That happened to him. Right? All he was doing was explaining it, right? He was like showed a swastika, and Twitch, like I think that gave him suspension and all that. Like this happens.
This is two different things. This is no. So I think this is a common misconception. You can't compare a YouTube or a Twitch to a Spotify, because on Twitch people get banned all the time for whatever reasons it is. When you go to YouTube, people get banned all the time for whatever it is. We're talking about music. Music was supposed to be the safe place to express yourself. Period. Point blank. That's why rappers rap about murdering whoever they want to murder and not getting banned. You're not understanding. This is an unprecedented thing that happened to me versus being a part of something that's happening to everybody else.
So I'm not sure this is unprecedented, but still, like, I want to ask then, what, like, so they called your song hate speech. And I haven't heard your song, so I'll have to leave it there. But I'm going to ask you then, like, could there have been a part of the song that anyone could construe as hate speech to the LGBT community, or do you think it's just completely out of left field?
Of course they can, but you do that with any song. They have songs. Let me tell you something. Some of the most popular songs are actually about kids that are actually dead. None of them get banned.
That's not hate speech, though. Like, talking about a dead kid isn't hate speech.
Prime, I have a question. I have a question for the gentleman. Was all your music banned, or was it just a single song?
It was multiple songs and an entire album on Apple and a lot of places, but Spotify was multiple songs.
Oh, they just took a bunch of your songs now. Were you able to upload them in other venues like YouTube or something else? They're just gone.
So it depends on sometimes one platform will ban it, but sometimes they all come together and all ban it after one decide to ban it. But I found that out later. So my friend Tyson James, I was the most banned rapper alive, but he hasn't surpassed me. So I guess I was just a domino, and he got his entire catalog banned. And he had to try to re-upload them in a different way. He found a way to upload some stuff, but yeah, it's getting real crazy out here. But just respond to him about it being unprecedented. That's just a historical fact. That's not a Bryson Gray opinion. It's a historical fact. Secondly, we said something is a hate speech. Are you telling me? Let's get this clear. Let's use Tuka, for example. When rappers say I'm smoking Tuka, you're telling me Tuka mom shouldn't reserve the right to take that, to request for that to get taken off the platform, as they all have, because Tuka's a real life human being that a bunch of people mocked. It's a 16-year-old kid who was brutally murdered getting mocked on music. And you said that's not hate speech. How could you say something?
Oh, no. So I'm being very clear. Like, so I don't know who this person is you're referring to, but you're saying there's a real person and that, like, there's a song in which, like, they're being threatened, right? They can get that. Sorry, threatened?
So it's kind of hard if you don't know nothing about rap music. You know what drill music is?
Yeah. But like the point is that, like, you're talking about acts of violence being talked about within the song. They can have there should be a consideration maybe about taking those down, but like not on the grounds of hate speech, because hate speech is a very specific thing, right? Now, if they're talking about targeting a specific group of people for some characteristic, then that's hate speech if that's what they're doing. But if they're not doing that, then that's a different category, right? And maybe they can be removed off of threats of violence.
So do you think it should be removed off threats of violence then? Do you think music should be removed that talks about violence?
I don't, but I think Prime might disagree with me a little bit. I'm not sure.
It might depend on the context here. Like if there is like, hey, like, either I'm going to kill you or I want my fans to go kill this specific person, then I think there's a very good case. In general, I want to. Yeah, so in general, I'm saying. Okay.
I'll give a specific case. Let's say if there's dead children and you mock these dead kids on your song, should that be taken down?
Mock dead kids on your song? No, I don't think so. That's not hate
You
speech.
don't wait.
Like
wait, wait.
unless the reason, like let's say it's you're mocking like dead black kids, right? Then maybe, right? But if
Yeah,
it's like dead
all the
kids in
wait,
general,
what? You can mock dead black kids, or you can't mock
no,
dead black
I'm
kids, but
saying
you can't mock what?
no. I said like if if you're targeting a specific group, right? So like if you're saying like I'm glad that like all these dead black kids are dead, then maybe that can be qualified as hate speech. But if you just generalize it to kids in general, that's just the same as
No,
generalizing it to like
no, not generalizing. Let me be more specific. I guess I gotta get more specific.
Take your time.
Let's say if I make a song and I say I'm smoking Tuka in the song like 30 times, and what that means, that's me mocking a actual dead person. His name was Tuka. And you're in there mocking him the entire song, mocking an actual black dead teenager who was murdered. Should that be allowed on Spotify?
mocking a dead teenager. Yeah, I mean, if it's not for any particular characteristic, then that's not hate speech.
Okay, you're getting
and-
okay. You guys are missing each other. Maybe I'll help. Prime, he's not
Okay.
saying, he's not trying to claim it's hate speech or not hate speech. I don't think that matters right here. He's
Okay.
asking you, do you think, regardless of whether hate speech or not, that people should be allowed to mock dead children in songs and not have it taken down by a platform?
Oh yeah. Oh, I thought I answered that previously. Then that's fine. Yeah, I think there should have that level of expression. Yeah.
How about me saying LGBT people are going to hell?
LGBT people. Well, that I think someone could consider that to be.
Do you think it should be taken off, whether it's hate speech or not? Do you think he should be able, in a song, to say LGBT people are going to go to hell?
For me, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. But
Okay.
like
I'll
I'm
just
saying
say
that
this.
the platform.
I'll say this. I'll give my opinion here. Like anyone who's taking your song down because of the content of it, right? They shouldn't do that, right? I'm not an absolutist when it comes to free speech, but I'm pretty close. Now they can judge you for it. They can call you a piece of shit for it. I think that's fine, right? I think they can say you're transphobic, homophobic, that you're all these things. They can. That's great.
But this is two
right?
different things. Hold on. But we are on a private platform, and they get to make their decisions, right? Like,
but I think they made the wrong decision.
As that, yeah, okay, sure, you can do that. You can think they made the wrong decision, but like that's different. Like, so I think that he should be able to sing about whatever he wants to, right? Like whatever, like no matter how offensive it is, he should be able to sing it and get that out into the world. But whether like that's the thing I was trying to answer is whether Spotify should have it. Right. So if you're asking me that, I think probably not. Right. For their corporate image. Like why? Like for who?
Why?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a new question because this is there's more to it that are pretty much like shut some of these arguments down totally. But I don't even get there yet. Do you think they should be forced to do you think these companies should be forced to lay out the rules evenly? And what I mean by that is artist named Eminem has called gay people FAGs on multiple songs, and not one has been taken down to date. One of his most popular songs threatened them, said he would break a table over the head of FAGGOTs, which is a song called Rap God. Should those songs be taken down? Because we've advocated for that, and none of his music has been taken down at all.
If your songs were taken down, then his songs would be taken down.
Look.
Okay, so
Oh no!
I mean, I wouldn't give anyone special treatment, of course.
Yeah,
not.
if you have something to say. But I do have a specific question for you, sir. After you're done.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So after your stuff was taken down, like how long ago was this? Just to get a time frame.
The last song of mine that was taken down was called "Like Eminem" last month.
Okay, last month. Wow. Has this when you do make new music, I don't know if you're making new music currently or plan to in the future, do you think that this is going to make you more hesitant or scared to kind of just express yourself in the future? Do you feel like a chilling effect on like, man, do you feel like you're being less able to express your beliefs? Now?
I feel like I have to get more creative with expressing them. So, because now, like literally saying LGBT people are going to hell is biblical. Like I can pull out a Bible verse for it. So that's my faith being discriminated against by Spotify and other platforms. But in that sense, I realize you have to get more creative. So I try to get a little bit creative because, like Eminem, I literally blanked out the words. You know, back in the day, there's a bad word in the song, just blank it out.
Censor them out.
Or something that they thought was bad. So I tried that with like Eminem. and what do you know? They banned that song also. So I guess I'm gonna have to like drop a song called "Get the Stones" and not really say what I'm talking about specifically.
Wow. Okay. So it really hasn't stopped you from trying to spread your message, right? It really hasn't, or at least it sounds like it's been more of a speed bump, or
a big speed bump. Financially, it hurts when a popular song gets banned. Obviously, that's why. But I don't even feel bad about me because Tyson James, he has those catalog taken down. So financially, he took the biggest hit any artist alive could take. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, they are speed bumps. I mean, they're bigger than speed bumps because they do affect because we're independent. We don't have labels and stuff like that. But on the same token, I like being the villain.
You like being the villain? Why do you like being the villain? What benefits it give you?
The Bible says that in these times, good will be called evil and evil will be called good. So if I'm the villain, to me, that's confirmation that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do in my faith.
Do you think that people, so I'm assuming you're against taking your music down, right? Like you don't like that they took it down, right? I would ask you then, do you think that an artist who sings about maybe a child getting gender affirming care and trans surgeries, do you think an artist who wants to celebrate that in their music, should they be allowed to sing about that kind of thing?
In America, no.
In America,
no. In America, they should be allowed to rap about it. Yeah.
Why not?
No, they should.
Oh, should. Okay, should. Yeah, okay. I was just trying to see, like, okay. I'm just trying to test the consistency here, right? Is there any, if you were, right, if you were going to run for office or do anything like that, right, and you were in a position to pass legislation and things like that, what kind of legislation would you pass to help protect people like you?
I'm a theocrat, so that's why I say in America, they should be allowed. But if in Bryson country, none of this will be allowed because it'll be a Christian theocracy.
Do you think that America should become a Christian theocracy?
I think we sort of were a Christian theocracy in the beginning because 9 of the 13 colonies all had established religions, but they were just denominations. They just used the term religion to replace denominations, and they were all like federally funded. Even after the Establishment Clause that everybody talk about, a lot of these places still had established churches federally funded until the late 1800s. And then if you look at the laws they were able to pass, it was laws based on their religion. Matter of fact, some states were allowed to kick out other religions, aka Mormons, and other things happen. So, I mean, the way America was ran, and this is just the way I'm saying as an example, it was ran as every state sort of was its own theocracy, which was the argument for states' rights to begin with. As my state, the Constitution is the law of the land, but I should be able to do what I want in my state as far as laws, and they were allowed to for a very long time.
Hey, I just want to say something really quickly. I just did like a quick Google search. Spotify removes R. Kelly music from its playlist as part of new hate content and hateful content policy exclusive. This was in 2018.
Read it again, and you answer a question on your own.
Spotify removes R. Kelly music for its playlist as part of new hate content.
Read it again, and then stop after the word playlist, and then you'll understand why this has nothing to do with what happened to me.
This has nothing to do with what happened to you.
Because they removed his music from playlist. They didn't remove his music from Spotify. You see the difference?
Removing the songs. Hold on. Spotify is putting into effect. The company will no longer promote R&B's music. Removing songs.
Okay, I see what he's getting at. They're not promoting it. It won't go into your playlist or your feed and things like that, but it's still there. You can still access it.
You still go access all those songs.
Okay. All right.
What he's saying has happened to him. He claims you can no longer access his songs. Is that the claim?
And I said I'm the rapper. The only person even from another genre I heard it happen to is some what was his name, man? Was it some rebel, some country dude? He's like he made songs. He made it's not really country. He made like anti-black people songs. They were so funny, bro. Oh my goodness.
Spotify removes hate music as streaming companies struggle to police their tunes. Spotify says it's removed an array of white supremacist acts from its streaming service that have been flagged as racist hate bands by the Poverty Law Center. This is in 2017.
Yeah, but I said rapper.
Okay. So you're narrowly defining this as you're the only rapper.
I said it the first time, though.
Okay. I mean, sure, but Whatever.
But I want to drill down
Man.
on this Christian theocracy thing. I'm curious, right?
Right.
I just, even if I'll grant you, right, and I don't know if I do, but for the sake of conversation, I know you don't have a lot of time with us today. So let's say that that's true, right? That we used to be much more Christian theocracy. Do you think that in today's society and world that we should go back to that, right?
Yes.
How would you see
And by
that
the way,
playing out?
before you respond, I'm not saying every single thing about society should go back. I'm saying the Christian aspect of society should.
Can you give me a couple examples?
Perfect. So, because a lot of people like to bring up slavery as their next level of argument, but this argument doesn't really exist because slavery has nothing to do with things being Christian or unchristian. Slavery was allowed everywhere, and it had nothing to do with Christian. It was like literally like an economic thing, which was slavery, which is terrible, by the way, because slavery was terrible and bad, obviously, but it had nothing to do with.
Slavery's bad. I agree.
Of course, we agree. But I'm saying, I'm saying that has nothing to do with the Christian aspect of what I'm saying. I think we need to go back to the Christian laws in this country, or even we'll make it slightly differently. I want a biblical theocracy. I want the law of the land to be the Bible.
So, basically, in the Bible, every 7 years, all debt was forgiven. Do you agree with that one?
Yep. Oh, okay. How you know?
The
How you know about that?
Right? Yeah.
Hey, what you know about that, boy? Hold on, Okay.
Look, I used to be a missionary. I'm no longer religious, right? But I used to be a Mormon missionary specifically. I was raised in the church. I'm familiar, right? It's not quite Orthodox Christianity, but it's close enough for me to understand the outlines of what you're saying.
So you know when Mormons got they were able to get exterminated or deported or forced off the land.
I am very aware of that. Yes, they were kicked out, strung up, lynched, all that stuff, all the things that happened to people we in America decided were not people, right? That they were able to get a little taste of that action.
Yeah. So what?
Go on.
Going on what Wick said. If this is supposed to be a Christian theocracy, as you said you'd like it to be, what denomination would then be in charge?
No, so if we were talking about in Bryson world, obviously we're talking about, I said biblical, but we're talking about how the country was ran. Every state had its own.
No, I'm asking you for what you want in the future.
In this country, I don't. When I say what I would want my society to be is different from what this country is. I don't want to change the history of this country because I mean that's what will make me different from a communist.
I'm not asking you to change the history of the country. You're saying that you have you have an idea, right? A political ideology, and it shapes how you look at things, right? Like we all do. Like I do, like Wick does. You have a lens you look through things, and you're saying that lens is Christian theology, and you have a world that would be ideal for you. So I'm just asking you to describe that world.
So what I told Wick is in this country, I think we should sort of go back in the Christian sense. Go back, like I told him, to go back to how this state was. Like states had its own situation. So like if I wanted to go, like I shouldn't have to go. Let me explain to you what I'm saying in more blatant terms. If I want to move to a state where sodomy is banned, transgenderism is banned, abortion is banned, there should be a state for me to move to with those things. If you want to go to a state, because only 9 out of 13 colonies had established religions. The other states are religious too, but in different ways. You have the Quakers and stuff like that. So it's a little bit different. But if you want to go to a place like California, you should be able to go to California and live in California if you want to. I shouldn't be subject to going to a restaurant and having a transgender serve me food.
Okay, so I more or less let's just say for now that I agree with you. And on the fringes I actually do. But for the sake of the conversation, let's say I completely agree with you here. Should there be any limits as to what states can and cannot enact into laws, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, based on the Constitution. So the Constitution was supposed to be the law of the land. Like every state had to abide by the Constitution. I don't know. The country went wrong when the Supreme Court was able to interpret everything on their own. But the Constitution, how it's written, should be the law of the land per se. And then states should be able to work outside of that. States should be able to do pretty much essentially whatever they want.
Okay, so then if there are, so let's say there was like 6 states or so that pass anti-gay legislation, the kind that you want, and that was working for them. But then the rest of the country amended the Constitution to say that that gays should have equal rights, right? Gays and trans individuals have equal rights. Like you think that those other states now, those 6 states, should recognize that?
No, because like I just said before, the issue is Supreme Court got the authority to interpret the Constitution how they want to. I don't
We're
think
not
that should
talking about
exist.
the Supreme Court, though. We're
Well,
talking about adding something. You said the Constitution should be followed,
okay.
right?
Let me
So we're
ask,
adding something to the
can we-
Constitution.
in your view, maybe I'll rephrase it. Can the Constitution be changed, or do you think the original
No.
document never change it?
Never change it.
Never change.
So
it.
the
Okay.
Bill of Rights, like that shouldn't be there, or maybe that should be there.
The Bill of Rights
original
came.
10?
The Bill of Rights came after the Bill of Rights. Well, the original 10. The 10 is the Bill of Rights. So the Constitution didn't include the
You
10.
just don't
Yeah,
think
the
the
Bill
other
of,
ones afterwards should have come.
yeah, it should be. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even like how can I explain it like this? I don't think the founding fathers understood that they weren't being as clear as they could have been because of what society was like during those times. Because the fact that Supreme Court was able to interpret certain things, perfect example, the Establishment Clause has nothing to do with what people think it is. Separation of church and state has nothing to do with what people think it does. But because how society was, they didn't make it as clear for future generations as they should have.
But the Constitution, like within its text, says that this is a living document that should be amended, right? So if you're saying we should go by the Constitution, then it's a document that should be amended. I mean, that's what the founders wanted, right?
I don't think it should be like
Fair
that.
enough. I wanna, regardless of the technical, like how we do this and things like that. Do you think this is Do you think that this is a realistic goal? Do you think we can get to? Do you think a lot of people want what you want, or do you feel you're in the minority?
Yes. No, I'm not. It just seems that way. But if you actually look, and this is gonna seem so minuscule in your eyes, but you have to think about it from a cultural lens. If you see the most homophobic stuff on TikTok goes the most viral, and when you read the comment section, there's a lot of liberals being in the comment section saying this comment section is so disturbing, it's so homophobic. But I think people underestimate how many people actually agree with me. A lot of people do agree with me, and I don't think it's a minority as people think. I think a lot of people are scared to say things how I say them, so they just play a character in the world. Now that could be false, but that's just my opinion.
Do you think that my only issue with that, and it is an issue, is I don't think that things go viral because they're popular. I think that they go viral because they're contentious, right? So whether or not people support you or not is really hard to judge just based on the virality of things. So if I make a bad tweet, if I make a tweet that everyone hates, it's going to go through the roof. I'm going to get a lot of engagement on it. There's going to be a lot of people who come in and say you're a dumbass, etc., etc., etc. My anodyne tweets, my tweets that are just everyone agrees with, don't get much play, right? They don't get much play. So I'm wondering, like, if what we're doing is mistaken engagement for agreement. I don't know,
because I didn't talk about the actual engagement. I talked about the responses of them. So if you read the responses,
in the comments, okay.
Yeah, if you read the comment section, a lot of people that disagree with it, they're usually angry in these comment sections. Like, I can't believe this comment section does not pass the vibe check. You know, you see weird stuff like that. And they're saying that because I think people get very confused. Perfect example, the law in Uganda, the anti-LGBT legislation in Uganda, that went mega viral and got so much American support. LGBT supporters were so angry in the comment sections because they don't even understand that the majority of people in the country still think like that. Now, when it comes to do the majority think like this, is it half? Is it the minority? I can't judge those actual numbers. I'm just giving you
your vibes.
What I think.
You know? Yeah, I get it. No, I mean, I don't have the numbers in frame of me either.
Yeah,
so
we should probably move on from this because, like it's only I can argue with them. Well, actually, we could probably show polls and to have a better idea of these things. But like, if it's just vibes, then it's just vibes. Like, so your religion guides your worldview. Why do you think that the Bible should be the text that guides everyone else, right? Or at least states that decide to do so. Maybe that's what you want to do.
Well, this country is a Christian country, so that's that. That's why. If we were talking about an atheist country, then
what would happen to the non-Christians?
Why is it a Christian country?
Stop. What would happen to the non-Christians in this country? So say I was say I didn't want to be Christian. Say I refused. I was like, I don't think Christianity is good. I live here. I've lived here all my life. What happens to me?
Just have to follow the laws and move.
Okay.
So
would I have to pay tithes to the church?
So the way tithes was paid, even strangers sometimes had to pay tithes, and it wasn't necessarily money; it was like grains and stuff like that.
Sure, yeah, but we live in a. I don't think anyone's going to let me bring my stream. Like, I'll give you 1/10 of all the streams I do, right? I think that would be a weird tithe to give, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to make 10 streams, you get every 10th of them, sir, right? Like.
Yeah, but the tithes was done at the actual temple, so. I would have to actually. I don't remember the strangers. So the strangers were they were forced to follow most of the rules. I don't know if that was included in it, but if it was, then yes, you have to pay tithes.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. I don't know. I don't know about this. I think that Jesus said it best, right? Let he who is without sin cast the first stone, as well as render unto Caesar's what is Caesar's. I don't know if Christ was looking for a theocracy. I really don't, right? I don't think he was interested in that. Am I wrong?
So yes. For starters, let's start with the most controversial statement I'm going to make about these scriptures that even Christians get mad at because they don't know history. Let thou without sin cast the first stone. That never happened in actuality. If you actually do research on it, or if you pick up a study Bible, it'll tell you that wasn't in any of the original manuscripts. It was actually in later manuscripts. So like if you pick up an NASB Bible, it'll be in brackets, and it'll tell you in the study Bible this is an original to scripture. KJV is the only one that has it as if it is original. So that never happened. As far as the render to Caesar's unto what is Caesar's, that's Matthew 20 or 21. One of those I believe, but regardless, it was a parable because he was responding to the Pharisees. He was arguing with the Pharisees because they were trying to trick him. The Pharisees were trying to trick him into saying something blasphemous or doing something blasphemous. So when he said, render to Caesar unto what is Caesar's. He asked
them whose face was on the coin, right? When they asked who they should pay tithe to. I'm familiar with the story. They asked and he asked them to counter it, whose face is on the coin? They said Caesar's. And then he responded with, render unto Caesar's that which is Caesar's, right?
Yes. And also you have the historical context of that because they were taken over forcefully by Romans. So
there was a large history of the Jewish people being taken over by various
Romans. Yeah, a lot of talk about Romans. So they couldn't really institute their own law. Matter of fact, if you read the book of Maccabees and actual history, the Romans actually, or the Greeks, whichever one you want to call them, they actually forced it. They actually like sacrificed pigs in their temples. They actually burned all of their Tanakhs, so they weren't able to even follow the law, and they had to keep the law in more creative ways. So,
go ahead.
So. Like I was trying to get to before, why do you think that the Bible should be the text that people follow?
In this country, because it's a Christian country. If we're talking about an atheist country.
Oh yeah, you said that previously. Yeah, so why do you think this is a Christian country?
Because even though people think this country started solely because of taxes, it was literally so people can exercise their version of Christianity if they wanted to without being under the thumb of the church in England. So that's really one of the main reasons the American Revolution was also a religious war. That's literally part of the reason the Constitution exists. And that's part of the reason the Establishment Clause exists. So the government can't pander to one denomination over the other.
Yeah. So it's like the founding fathers were deists, right?
Nope, they're all Christians.
They were deists. Like through their writings, they talked about how through their writings, like they said they were deists. They believe in a naturalistic God that wasn't like an interfering God, right? They like it was Thomas Jefferson in his Bible where he crosses out like
calls himself a follower of Jesus of Nazareth. That's the part you're talking about, Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, I'm saying that like his version of Christianity, his version of that religion is not what you are referring to.
No, they
And
were different denominations.
even if it was right, so let's say I'm completely wrong. Let's say you're completely right. Like, what difference does it make if in the past those individuals, like if they were like strictly Christian, exactly as you believe it, what difference is in the past if that's what they thought? They were also like slaveholders, right? Like they
Okay.
also were slave masters, and like you said previously, slavery is wrong. So once we can recognize that these people are fallible, being the founding fathers, why do we have to be? Why do we have to care
Yeah.
what they say?
So first thing, this whole deist argument is more of a modern argument. If you actually read the writings of every single, and I'm talking about don't miss one, every single founding father, or the main founding fathers, because actually there were like a lot of them. But the main founding fathers, if you go read their writings, they had different versions of Christianity, which is part of the reason this country exists. But they all viewed themselves as followers of Jesus of Nazareth. All of them have said that. The most quoted book by the founding fathers is the Bible. So they were all Christians by definition. Now, would they be Christians to a Catholic? No, because Catholics believe you have to believe in specific theologies to be a Christian. But by the definition of a Christian, they are Christians.
Hey, what would just
hold on. I really want to get the answer to this question about like why should we care? So even if that's the case, even if it's exactly as you say, what should it matter when these clearly fallible people made? Like, it doesn't a country evolve with the times, and shouldn't it do that? And should it do that as well? Go ahead.
Well, you're a liberal, so obviously you want the country to evolve, probably at a faster pace. But the reason it matters what the founding fathers believe because they are the founding fathers of the country, which is why I say if this was a country that was founded by atheists, I wouldn't have the same argument or response. But because the founding fathers of this country were Christians,
they were also slaveholders, right? So we should reinstitute slavery.
No, I've already combated this.
Why? But why? But hold on. I want to deal with this. But why? So you're saying that one aspect of their beliefs is wrong, but this other aspect is definitely not wrong. Why? What's the difference here?
Because as you said, obviously these men were not perfect, but not only that, the slavery thing was already a thing in England, and every country had it. So if that's the case, every single country on earth shouldn't be like you shouldn't listen to anybody. Like what would that mean exactly?
I don't know why what you're bringing up here. I'm asking a very specific question. So we know the founding fathers had incorrect beliefs, and so like, why can't yeah, that's one example. And how they treated women is another example. Sure. Which maybe you disagree with. Okay, fair enough. But in any case, if they have. If we know that their ideas are fallible, right? Why can't this be another one, right? Or maybe that was fine for the times, but like within this time, we have different needs, especially since we've a nation of refugees. Go ahead.
I'm going to answer the country the same. I'm going to answer the question the same exact way. This is a Christian country, so every man.
Okay, I get it, Prime. You really want to drill down on this? I don't think we're changing any minds today, but I want to.
Well, I mean, like he's dodging the question, sure, but like, yeah, you are. Like,
as a matter of fact, I've answered it at least 3 times before you even asked.
You haven't answered the question. I've like this specific example. Like,
we'll move on. We'll move on. Because I know he only has a limited time here, and I want to get a couple in. So first of all, a super chat has come in. Muda Agarwal wants to know, what would you teach in school in a theocratic America? And will you be okay if the theocratic syllabus results in America dropping below the rest of the world academically?
Well, first off, we're not even ranked that high academically as we speak in a secular sense. So I don't think we're helping. So I would teach them basic math, science skills. I would actually teach more of a trade thing. I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of homeschool, what they do with their children is they'll throw things at the children and see what they gravitate towards, see what they become good at. I also do that, but also teach them basics because all of us was in high school before. If you act like anything you learned in high school, you've actually used in the real world, you're 9 times out of 10 a liar. Unless you're a doctor or unless you're something that you actually had to go to college to make. So they do need to learn the basics, but they wouldn't be learning evolution. Of course, that would not be taught in my schools. And theocracy. I mean, just basic stuff. It wouldn't be that much different from schools now. Just no rainbow flags in the class. I mean, same basic stuff. I don't really understand the question.
And out of curiosity, just because I'm not sure, I'm not exactly sure your denominational beliefs and Christian beliefs. Would women be able to hold leadership roles in this country, or should they?
In the government, no.
No. Okay. Well, fair enough. I mean, like, even the judges, there were at least one female judge that I know
One
in Israel, right? Deborah, I believe was her
in
name.
the Bible. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
go ahead.
yeah, but what would why wouldn't we allow women a leadership role here? Given that you want biblical accuracy, and it was biblically
Yeah.
accurate that there were women in leadership roles in ancient Jerusalem, at least, right?
Yeah. So no, I think we're confusing what a judge is versus what a rabbi is. There was no such thing as a woman rabbi in the Bible or
Yeah, but
anywhere
a
in
judge
the
was
Bible at all.
more about the actual like
A
running of the
judge.
country, right?
Well, a judge is the person. That's why Moses had judges. And
Mm-hmm.
what a judge do, I mean, what a judge do, it should be common sense, obviously. But when something happened, they took it to the judges,
The
and the judges
judge that
made.
would interpret the law and get it.
Well, it was always multiple judges. It was never one judge.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was always it was a group of judges, and then they made a decision
A
on what,
court of them,
like
like a Supreme
two or
Court
three,
of them, right? To
yeah, two or three witnesses. But when you look at it from a government perspective, let's say the judges are the Supreme Court, but the rabbi is the president. You know what I'm saying? So the rabbi was like literally the head of the temple.
Would you let them? Would you let women be at least senators or representatives instead of like the president? So say we could like let's compromise here, right? Right? Everyone likes
Yeah.
to compromise. The dirty centrist in me likes to compromise, right? So
Okay.
in your theocracy, in your dream world here, president has to be a man, but we could have the lesser appointees and stuff be women. Would that be acceptable?
Are you asking about Bryson land?
Yeah, Bryson land, right?
Or the
Bryson
United
land.
States of America?
Huh?
Are you asking
Bryson
about the
land.
United States of
If
Bryson
you
land?
got what you want, if you were put in charge, if God endowed you from on high with the power to enact your will upon the United States of America, how would you do that? That's what I'm asking.
I would think that in my land, the highest position a woman would be able to hold is like on a board.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like a board position. Which is still better than what a lot of other people would say. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think I'm that bad, you know? And the reason I say that is because Deborah was a judge.
I don't know. I think that keeping women out of leadership roles is pretty bad, but we disagree on that. That's fine. I just think it is. I think it is. I'm not gonna like blow smoke up your ass, right?
Yeah.
What would happen again, right? If we transition to the theocratic government, to those people who have been married outside of the church. So, for example, gay marriage, who's already gone through the courts, they already have this right. Would they be grandfathered in, or would you strip that from them?
You know about Bryson land?
In Bryson land, yes.
Oh, you don't want you. I mean, be honest, you don't even want to. You don't want to answer that.
Oh, is it going to get my channel demonetized?
Just ask me about the United States of America on this one.
Okay, I'll ask you about the United States of America on this one. What do you think should happen in the United States of America if you get your way politically?
Then obviously all of those people that were deemed married would not be so any longer. But they will be allowed to have the partnership things. I don't care about the money aspect of it. I just don't want them to defile the marriage bed.
So just
but I mean, in reality, sodomy would be illegal.
It would be illegal. Okay. So just to be clear, right? In Bryson land, you can't tell me because it's too spicy. But in American land, you would say that they should be stripped of their current status as married, right? That was the less spicy take.
Yeah, correct. In Bryson land, the Bible would happen. So
okay.
that answers the question.
Fair enough. What you got for him, Prime? Anything else?
Sure. I want I want to be clear on this, on what you define as sodomy. What do you define as sodomy?
So sodomy is a sodomite, which is same sex booty things.
Okay.
Unless you're trying to define it as just strictly anal.
No, so sodomy, that's beyond anal, right? It's anything that's basically not vaginal intercourse. So you're saying specifically what you're banning is anal sex, and specifically anal sex between a man and another man?
Yeah, and just to clear up, I knew you were going to say that. That's why I answered a specific way. But the word sodomy literally comes from the Bible. So you can't, even though there's like a modern definition for it, you can't really have one because the word sodomy wouldn't even exist without the Bible. So sodomy is like a man pitting it I don't even want to say it, bro.
I understand. Okay, if it makes you
Oh
uncomfortable, we
yeah,
might have to talk about it. That's fine.
yeah. But is that what you're saying? That
Sounds like it
specifically
is.
that? Hold on, but there's more to it then. Or what? So for women, right? So gay sex between women, that wouldn't count as sodomy then.
Oh, that'd be illegal too. Romans 1.
Okay. So but a man going down on a woman, that would be fine.
Like going down, like oral sex.
But giving her
Don't have to
oral sex,
describe
giving a
it.
woman.
You could just
Yeah, I
Giving
mean,
a
not,
woman oral sex, yeah.
not before marriage.
Okay. So you would also make that illegal, a bit having sexual intercourse before marriage?
No sex before marriage. Period.
Okay. And what would be the repercussions for that if you did?
Prison time, but if you're a repeat offender, then you have to get deported. Sometimes you can get stoned. It just depends on which one you commit.
Okay. I have a question from the audience.
And shoot.
Sure. How would so could you ask him about how he would deal with white supremacists, nationalists, racists in his country? So if someone was a white supremacist, what like I guess the meat of the question is, should the government in your country be allowed to deal with dissident groups like white supremacy and things like that in violent fashions? Like, what would you do?
So neo-Nazis
Yeah,
are a
stuff
little
like
bit
that,
different.
right?
Yeah. So okay. So I don't know. I feel like you do, but there's a difference between like a KKK member and a neo-Nazi.
Would either one be allowed in your country?
So let me put it like this: neo-Nazis are typically pagan, and they support and do things that's far outside the Bible. They would all be either deported or, in many cases, stoned. Obviously, the KKK people, even though they're like very ignorant individuals, I mean, what do they do? Like, really? Have you ever talked to a KKK member before?
Actually, I have.
Not a neo-Nazi. I'm talking about a KKK.
I understand. I live really close to a few of them, right?
Yeah, they slow. They're not like really intelligent.
That's
You
true.
know what I'm saying? Neo-Nazis, they actually kind of smart if you talk to them. Neo-Nazis not dumb. They know history. They read. The KKK people, I mean, they're like harmless. Like,
So
what are they gonna do?
you would deport the LGBTQ, but you would leave in the KKK people.
Neo-Nazis going too.
And so neo-Nazis, LGBTQ, they get the boat, okay? But the KKK can stay.
Unless they do something, like burn across somebody's yard. But like if you do something, you get deported.
So wait, would the an LGBT person who doesn't engage in gay in sodomy, let's say, who doesn't engage in sodomy, who doesn't get gay married, they can stay too, or do they just get the boat?
I know gay people that are like celibate for God. They can stay. What's up?
Oh,
okay.
Okay. I just wanted to check. Right.
I'm not evil, bro.
I don't think.
Okay. I think we disagree on that.
I don't know. Like, no, those in all seriousness, I don't know if you're evil or not. I know some of these beliefs, right? I don't know. I just met you. I just met you, friend. I just met you. How am I supposed to judge?
I was a nice guy.
Well, I mean, I can make judgments, right? Like,
no. Let me finish, right? I think some of the things you advocate for, yeah, are low-key evil. I don't think we should be deporting people based on their sexual preferences, but that's just me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very centrist response to that. I mean, yeah, like, oh, I don't think so. Yeah, but like, no, like, those are evil acts. To be targeting these people just for these their characteristics. Yeah, that would be an evil act, absolutely, and something that you're promoting within this world. And
you got a position.
Sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Go ahead.
No, I'm not saying that's a position. You could think I'm evil, but you also have to understand because you're tolerant, right? So you're tolerant that I have my own faith. So you should understand that my Bible calls them evil and calls them wicked and say they should be stoned. You know that, right?
Yeah, I don't give a shit what your Bible says. So, like, I understand that you have your own religion, and in my country, right? Like, if I were in charge, right? Well, then people like you could stay because I don't like deport people for something like that, right? I would deport them for actual actions that harm the community. So that would be fine, but I can recognize and I can clearly state that what you are advocating for is certainly evil. And I think the Bible gives you a very convenient scapegoat to offload, right, the hatefulness. Well, the book says so, so I guess I have no choice about it. I guess I have to take these evil actions. I guess I have to promote
Well, they're
these
not
horrible
evil.
things.
I think the opposite.
Oh, of course not. Yeah, because the Bible says it's
Yeah.
good, so that absolves you of any
Bryson
responsibility.
I want Bryson to have a say here because I'm curious, right?
Yeah.
So you mentioned that they're not evil acts because the Bible says so, because God tells you to, right?
Well, no. What I'm saying is, I think that is evil. So I think somebody that is willing to engage in, let's say, same-sex acts, I think those people are evil. I think people that have abortions, I think those people are evil. I think people that have sex outside of marriage is evil. I think the same things. So we're just on opposite end of the spectrums, right? I'm just willing to do what the Bible says to do with this versus the opposite around. And he can say that he wouldn't deport Christians, but let me start holding rallies in his country, talk about y'all are going to hell and y'all should be stoned or something. He'll do something about it. You know what I'm saying? People got to be honest. I don't mind you calling me evil, right? I don't mind that. I don't mind being a villain as long as you like are honest about what you would do in certain situations.
You being honest, Prime, with what you would do?
I said so, right? Like people in my world and Prime world would be able to worship whatever they like, right? Like I'm not a fan of religion in general, but even then, that doesn't matter, right? The other people, they should be allowed to do what they wish. What matters is their actions against others, right? That harm communities. Go ahead.
Would I be able to protest? Or would I be able to go to like a pride parade and say y'all are all going to hell and y'all should be stoned?
Yeah, you can raise signs like was it Westboro Baptist Church, right? Like
yeah, they kind of
F words are of course, right? Yeah, so F words are going to hell, right? Like or in your song, yeah, you can do that as well.
Don't they protest veterans' funerals too, or am I thinking of a different group?
Yeah, no, they do. Yeah,
that's not so based.
Yeah, that's not so based at all. Neither of these are based, to be clear. Okay, so I guess my contention here is Remy LeBeau, thank you for the $8. Prime is the GOAT. Okay. I will say this. My contention with your theocracy here is not just Prime's, but I don't think it's also Christian. I don't think these are Christian ideals. I think it is in the Bible what you say, but I think that Christianity isn't about this punishment. It's not about the punishment. It's not about the going to hell. That's not what Christianity is about. Christ isn't trying to scare you into following him, right? Like, and I think that this rhetoric is just very unchristian.
What a pathetic centrist response. Please take it away, Bryson.
That
was pretty pathetic.
Matthew 11 is quite clear on the matter. Jesus said, for unrepentant cities, it'd be worse for them than it was for Sodom. And I don't know if you know what happened to Sodom, but that's not okay. And also, you have the Revelation 21:8 that gives you a list of people that's going to hell. 1 Corinthians 6:9-13. If you can read Matthew 7, if you go down to Matthew 7:23, he said, "Depart from me, I never knew you, ye that work iniquity." Iniquity is sin.
Yeah, but he said that. Let's give context here to what you're saying. When he says that, he was telling people who were saying, "Lord, Lord, Lord, have I not done miracles in your name? Have I not preached your word? Have I not been Christian?" That's who he was talking to, not the people you were talking. He's talking to people who were giving your speeches. Talking to people who were giving your speeches, sir.
Correct. Let me help you. So let me help you to tell you why that's wrong. And matter of fact, there's a lot of Christians that interpret that like you interpret it. It's just factually incorrect. He says, "Have I not cast?" I'm not going to explain it to you. Let me go for context with you. Have I not cast out demons in your name? Have I not prophesied in your name? Have I not done mighty works in your name? And then he say, then I will say to them, "Depart from me, I never knew you, ye that work iniquity." So what he's explaining to you is, even though you claim to do things in my name, you are a worker of iniquity. A worker of iniquity is a sinner. Psalm 5:5. God hates workers of iniquity. Iniquity is sin. That's what the word means in the Greek and in the Hebrew. So he was saying these people were saying they believe in Jesus, but they were still living a life of sin, like a gay preacher, or somebody that claims they're gay and a Christian, or somebody that claims they're an adulterer and a Christian, or somebody that claims they're a fornicator and a Christian.
Just real quick, Prime. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying that this kind of rhetoric and preaching this is sinful behavior. Pure religion, undefiled before
Right.
God, is this: to help others. What was God's first commandment? To love God. What was his second? Like unto it, to love thy neighbor as thyself, right? I think
Who was that
that
neighbor?
is pure religion undefiled before
Bryce,
God. I don't
uh,
think like you're I know Prime, you don't speak religion. Okay, I know you don't
no,
speak
no, no.
religion. I
I
do. So if
actually
you think
speak.
I'm being milquetoast here, Prime,
Yeah,
I am
I'll
not.
tell you
I am
exactly how I think.
like
You're not.
Bryson.
You're
Here's the thing.
But I think
You know,
but Bryson, I want to be
Bryson,
clear. Bryson, I think you can be changed. I think we can
not.
work with you. I think we
sure.
can bring you over to my side. I want to
You know what I
convert you,
think?
Bryson.
You know what I think? I think that the fact that you read the Bible a bit, I could get you to do more Bible studies, and you will be like, you know what? The Bible is clear. So I think when people read the Bible, even though sometimes a lot of y'all read the Bible to try to argue with Christians, a lot of Christians don't know the Bible. Now, you talk to somebody like me who actually know the Bible, I can give you the whole chapter and give you the whole story. And I think we had a long enough conversation. I think you'll start agreeing with me.
Bryson. So Bryson, here's the funny part. Here's where you and I agree, right? I think you'd be more likely to change him than him
Prime,
changing you.
you're wrong.
I think so.
Why are you both attacking
So our
this?
friend Wick. So Wick and I have a mutual friend. His name is 𝕬𝖐𝖍𝖙 Rich. He's another Christian, right? Very faithful individual. He would find this extremely amusing because he could predict that you and I would agree on this. Because what Wick said previously, talking about how like the Christianity isn't about the punishments, isn't about hell, right? Well, that's obviously not the case because of everything you said, right? I think you're absolutely correct. I think other Christians like to pick and choose, right, and ignore those parts. So I'm in complete agreement with you here, and that like if you with you in the strength of your convictions, I think you could easily change Wick's mind because he's a flimsy centrist.
Well, the issue with this is you only agree with me because you probably like the harsh parts of the Bible because you think that helps your case and it turns people away from Christianity.
No, I don't like it because I think it's safe. I wish Christianity was a religion worth following. I really do because it would make the world a better place, but it isn't.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So you like to use the harsh parts, so you can convince people to turn away from Christianity and say how hateful it is.
I don't need to use those harsh parts. Like that's like it's I don't if when I'm talking to a person about religion, and if I was actually trying to change people's mind, and I generally don't actually try to change anyone's minds, but if I was going to do that, I would very rarely use the Bible itself, right? I would talk about the factual analysis, how like religion doesn't line up with what we see in the natural world, any particular religion, but.
Y'all guys any questions? I got like 3 more minutes. I gotta run to Academy Sports before they close and go to a movie. But go ahead.
Yeah, you only got a little bit more time, so why don't you kind of give your like closing statements here? Why don't you kind of get like sell my audience on your view of the future, right?
Yeah. I don't want to sell them. I know a lot of Christians are into like trying to sell the idea, trying to convince people. I'm not into convincing people, and the reason why is because the Bible clearly says it's a narrow path for those that will get eternal life. So I know the majority are not going to agree with me. But what I will say is, I came on this show knowing there's going to be disagreement, and I will come on again because I don't mind disagreeing with people. I will talk to people respectfully as I can, no matter what they say, no matter what I say. But the one thing I will say is, at least I'm not. Y'all have to understand when y'all talk to these Christians that you live in, these are not your friends. To be honest, these people are actually lying on their own faith. So even though you may find what I say very repulsing, you have to at least say, you know what? At least he's going to be honest with me about what his view is. Because a lot of things y'all probably heard me say, you probably never heard a Christian say. But I can back each thing up with a scripture that says what I says verbatim, without adding, without subtracting, without using mental gymnastics. So I hope y'all at least heard me out, no matter how controversial what I said was. I don't want to convince you.
I've heard the things
I
that
just want to like say I appreciate you coming on, and I really do. Like I'm being sincere, Han. I do think that everyone, literally everyone, deserves a chance to be heard, and I thank you for being honest, because it's important to know what you actually think rather than what people might say you think. I'm glad you were able to say with your own mouth what you actually honestly believed. I think that's helpful, and people can look at it and they can weigh you and measure you and make their own decisions. Anything else?
I've heard like the things you've said from other Christians, of course. But I've talked to many Christians. But I would say that I do agree that you were being truthful in your beliefs. You weren't trying to hide. I've seen other people try to hide like how they actually feel. I appreciate you saying that out loud. I don't mind disagreement. I love disagreement. I love talking to people who have differing opinions. So I do appreciate you as well. And I'd love to talk to you again in the future. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you for coming.
No problem. Whenever y'all want me on again, just hit me up, bro.
Will do. Don't be a stranger.
sir.
I'll see you later, brother. Bye.
All right, bro.
Wow. You okay?
Why wouldn't I be okay?
I don't know. That was a lot. $20 from No Step on Snake. I guess Bob Dylan had the right idea. Everybody must get stoned. I'm not sure that's what he was referring to. I'm not sure that's the context of the quote that he was used. I don't know if it's the same, but you know, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why were you yelling at me? What?
Oh,
you
yeah,
had
because
this guy on and you were yelling at me.
Yeah, of course I was, right? Because centrist can be so much more dangerous than people on the right, right? Like on the conservative side. Because what you do is you cover for them.
How was I
give
covering
them
for
these,
him?
So hold on. Right. So specifically, what I did yell at you about, right, was your weak centrist responses. Right. So rather than like say like, oh, I can't say if you're evil or anything like that, like you didn't actually just lay it on him, right? Like the things that he was doing, yeah, it was evil. His ideology,
I said that about his
belief
beliefs.
system, his
I just didn't say it off the gate. I was leading up to it. I'm a little verbose, and that's fine. But you jumped on me from the get go.
No. Because you said like I can't say that you are evil.
But what you're
right?
advocating for
but if you're doing evil acts,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. So, explain this to me, Wick. Right. So, if a person does a bunch of evil acts, pushes evil ideology, right, which has evil consequences in the world, are they evil? Can we actually do that?
No. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
oh my God. Okay, stop.
Nonsense.
This is why it doesn't matter, because I can't read his mind. I don't know his heart. Maybe
you don't know his heart.
I don't know his heart. I don't know if he honestly believes what he thinks is going to do is going to help. But I can't say he was truthful. But what I can demonstrably measure, right? What I can actually point to is the things he advocates for and the effects of those things he advocates for. And you may think that's a distinction without a difference. I don't.
No, that's what you judge people by. We judge people by their actions. We judge people by what they put out in the world, right? The ideologies, the rhetoric. That's all the things that we can judge them by. We can never see into their hearts, right? But a centrist like you, would say, well, I can't, right? So I don't know if that cop is racist. I mean, he's like, we can look at his record and he's murdered a bunch of black people, but I mean, I guess I can't intuit it. It's an action. I don't agree with it because, I'm a good person, but like, I can't say that this guy's bad.
I cannot. The reason that we want to avoid labeling people as monsters, evil, etc., is because it dehumanizes them. And we have this problem on the left that we've been going on for a while now, right? We have this problem on the left that it's okay to do bad things to bad people because they're no longer people anymore. They're not people, they're evil. So I'm going to go to this guy's house and take care of business, right?
I never said he was a person, and that doesn't dehumanize a person, right? Is my prescription for this person that he needs to die on the streets like a dog? No, it wouldn't be that at all, right? I'd say he still has human rights like any other person.
Prescription, but there are plenty of people who it would be.
Okay, yeah, sure. And that's why we can't call people racist, right? We can't take a stance on that because we can't look in people's hearts.
Critical race theory
of course not, right?
Created, intersectionality was created in order to avoid the problem of not knowing people's hearts. So we don't have to call people racist. We can look at systemic problems because it doesn't matter if they're racist because we can point to the things. This
is a legal framework, right? A legal framework to analyze the laws of this country, to analyze like that within the history, right? And it's to talk about systemic racism and that how systemic racism does not need an individual person to be racist. That does not saying that individuals are not racist. The individuals can't have racial animosity. That's not what it says. You don't know what you're talking about.
I do know what I'm talking about because it doesn't not say that. It says it doesn't matter whether they have it or not.
For systemic racism, not interpersonal racism.
Oh my God. Let me bring in Ozzy. Okay, you have a lot to answer for your people, Ozzy.
Azzy, can you hear us, buddy?
For my people? What do you mean?
Your people.
You
know
Bryson,
he means you
anything,
people, yeah.
Bryson Gray might be Bryson Gray might be like a heretic in my eyes. I think he's like a modalist or a Unitarian. So he doesn't. Last time he was checked by popular YouTube Ruslan in a conversation on whether or not he believes in the divinity of Jesus, and he said, "Nah, but you can still pray to him because the Bible says he's like a literist or a Jehovah Witness, right? In my eyes, in his theology, and he's like a Roman 7 Christian who wants to bring us back under the civic law and under ceremonial law, which is why he wants to stone people." It's crazy that he would even say something like that, because of Romans 8, it says, like, if you're under the new covenant, which is why Jesus came back, which speaks to the love and grace of Christianity, that we don't need to be under the law, even though the law isn't evil. It's supposed to be a way of nature, of way of creation. And we operate that way in an ideal world, which we don't live by, then we don't need the law. Bryson, because he knows because he's being so literist, and because he doesn't have enough faith or grace in his heart,
I can hear you.
That's why he wants to go back to that stuff.
Okay, Ozzy, stop.
Plays like the leftists do. He plays identity politics.
I don't know if he can. Okay, well, now he stopped.
Okay.
That was wild to me. He's just gonna keep going, right? What do you... Oh, let's bring Vivian on, I guess. I didn't kick you, Azzy. I just muted you because you weren't letting me speak, because I have a question for Prime that was pertinent, but now I fucking forgot it. Vivian, hello.
Hey, no, it's all right. What do you want to say, Prime?
I didn't say anything.
I wanted to note, Prime, you got more mad at me than you did the guy advocating to put people on boats and deport them. You got more mad at me, right? About those.
No, I was more mad at him than you did. But you felt that way. You felt that my my criticism of you was unwarranted. So as you usually do, Wick, you blow things out of proportion and make it all about you. But no, like, my focus was on Bryson.
Vivian, hello.
I mean, it wouldn't exactly be a bad thing if Prime was like more mad at you than he was at him. You expect that kind of shit from the dumb fuck fundamentalist assholes, right? But like, the most frustrating thing is the people who are like nominally on your side, who end up providing cover for them. Like, Prime's 100% right here. Like,
how did I provide cover for him?
So, like when you say shit like you can't see inside people's hearts, you can't like call people out as being like bad people or whatever, you just like concentrate on what they do and all that sort of shit. Like, it continues, because look at the conversation that you're fucking having now, right? You were like, this problem that you have on the left of like dehumanizing people and blah blah, right? When we're fighting against people who are literally calling for mass executions of LGBT people and leftists. Like, you want to talk about fucking dehumanization? Yes, it's fine to call the people who call for that shit monsters. What they're doing is monstrous. What they're asking for is monstrous. They are fucking monsters, Wick.
Like, I think they could be changed. And I get what you're saying. I will give you this. Yes, what they're doing is monstrous and should be opposed. They should be treated as someone who's trying to do a genocide, right? To do a monstrous thing. They should be opposed with the full force and the full might of whatever we can bring against them. However, I don't want, right? And you're going to focus on this. I know you're going to focus on this, but I don't want to dehumanize anyone. And I know you say, I don't care, I'm fighting for my existence, and I'm with you, right? But I don't know what more you want from me.
They dehumanize themselves. They have thrown their fucking humanity out of the fucking window, and pointing that out is not dehumanizing. It's just simply describing fucking reality. They are not engaged in humane fucking behaviors or rhetoric right now, okay? And saying somebody is a fucking monster for the things that they are doing and the things that they're saying, the things that they're trying to fucking advocate for, is not us dehumanizing them. It's pointing out that if there are indeed monsters in this world, that's what they fucking look like. The people who want to murder fucking hundreds of thousands, millions of people based on their immutable characteristics.
I let him say his monstrous shit, so now everyone knows, right? People didn't know.
Oh, wow, and that's always worked.
They see his fun little, like, YouTube, like, MAGA things, right? They see his songs, his raps and things. But, man, mask off moment right there, right? Like...
So I mean,
crazy.
He's part of the MAGA crew. Like, you think people?
Yeah, but that's not all MAGA. But that is a brand of MAGA. It's within it, right? Absolutely.
You find this was some sort of enlightening, like
it's not.
Enlightening session. Like, we know what these people are about. We're having an entire national conversation about exactly his thoughts, right? Like, he acted like, you've never heard a Christian say the things I said. No, we hear it all the goddamn time. We hear it all the time. So, like, don't pretend that you were enlightened. I think it's personally, it's worth talking to people from the other side, right? To have debates, but I don't pretend that I'm enlightening people as to this, because we know.
It's wild to me, the idea that you thought that you could, like, change his mind, like, reach him on some of these issues.
Right? He was very much a religious person, so I was trying to speak his language. His
language is, like, gay people deserve to go to fucking hell.
But he uses
people are committing a
moral around that.
And I think that, like, honestly, if we did have a longer conversation, I couldn't probably change his mind, right? Like, he's invested in this, but I could move his listeners. I do believe that.
I mean, maybe one or two of them. I don't fucking know. But you're not going to reach him. And you specifically said that you wanted to reach him on his level, and you thought that you could bring him over to your side. And I just think that is one of the big problems with, like, people in Twitch debate. Like, why don't you just admit you get this guy on for, like, fucking entertainment value and shit? Like, I'd have so much more, like, respect for the idea that, like,
it's not just that. There is an element of that, yes, but it's not just that. You act like the only reason I do these things is because I have, like, I'm only looking for the money, but that's not true. We just disagree, Vivian. We're, like, I have different values, right? And we just disagree, but that doesn't make what I'm doing simply this capitalistic, without any... this kind of soulless endeavor, right? You may think that I can't bring him over or bring his viewers over, that I'm going to have no impact, but I am not lying to you. I'm not misrepresenting myself. I am not being false with you to say I think I can.
Yeah, y'all going hard on Wick for no reason.
I just think that.
Y'all just don't like people who are trying to bridge. You don't like bridge builders. You guys don't like bridge builders at all.
Oh, okay. Wait, hey, Ozzy, how many fucking bridges did we build with Bryson Gray today?
What you did. Prime spoke past him. Said he didn't answer questions, and then you weren't even here.
He didn't answer questions.
I mean, he answered. No, he preemptively murdered. I'm not gonna do that. He preemptively answered your question before you asked it, and I think
no, he didn't. So what was the question? What was the question I asked, and what was his answer?
So what's the difference between the beliefs of the person who's a slave owner and has a Christian belief? Was that along the lines of your question?
It was close enough. But it was like looking at the the founding fathers, right? They had slaveholding beliefs, which he says are incorrect, and they have theist beliefs, right? Like, what is the difference between these two? If these are infallible people, right? Why is it that we have to follow this one belief and not the other? And a country over the span of centuries and an ever-changing country.
$10.
And then what he did was he's like he brings up what he did. He brings up like England and like India or whatever, right? It's like, oh, they had slavery too, and so like if that's the case, well then who do we listen to? How does that answer the question? It didn't answer the fucking question.
$10 for
Because you're saying that
Ozzy, stop! I will let you respond after I get a little money, and I will interrupt you for money. I will do that. I don't care.
Yeah, that's
That
fine.
is
It's no
absolutely
problem,
for money.
man.
No step on
Pay your
stake for
bills.
$10 to say, Wick, you know you do it for the money. Let be real. Smiley face. Obviously, I want to make money on this. Obviously, yes. But if you think that's the only reason I do it, you are wrong.
He might enjoy it. This might be fun. This might be an endeavor for him.
That is also
to bridge
true.
build.
But that's not the
So-
only reason
Yeah.
I do it. Like you,
I
act
said
like
it was like largely for the drama, and I think that other considerations get like put aside in pursuit of the drama.
There wasn't
And
that
whether
much
that
drama.
whether that drama is for fun, for self-enlightenment, for money, for clicks, for views, for social clout, whatever.
I don't think this is
like
drama.
I think the
All right, so I'm gonna be very direct then. Vivian, you don't even believe
Drama is
in
good.
free will or autonomy of individuals. So you're
what are you
just,
talking
like,
about? I'm an
inherently bad
anarchist.
faith.
My
Yeah,
my
you're
entire-
inherently
my
bad faith,
entire-
and it's
what do you- what do you-
you're an anarchist, so we can't even have a conversation.
Yeah,
Wait.
yeah, okay. Ozzy,
Ozzy,
you like to
what are you
interrupt.
talking
Let
about?
me be a
as an
super
as
big-
as
I'm
an
pretty
as an anarchist, my entire ideology is founded upon the importance of autonomy. Like, obviously, I believe in
You don't
autonomy.
believe in free will.
I mean, in the same way that like pretty much every major philosopher does not believe in free will because it's a bit of a nonsense. Like we
Well,
live in
that's
a
not
broadly
true, but
deterministic
okay.
universe.
Okay, we can argue about free
But
will.
I'm not
later.
gonna argue. Yeah, I'm not gonna argue.
It's
$5.
it's fine. Every modern philosopher is at best a compatibilist, and most are determinist.
I'm a
And compatibilism is
to be
just another
clear.
form of determinism.
I don't think
frankly,
compatibilism is another form of determinism. If I'm
It's an
understanding
attempt
it
to
correctly,
marry-
which I might
it's an
not
attempt to-
be, right?
it's an attempt to marry determinism
and free
with moral. With moral philosophy, right? Because the idea is, if
not-
we live in an entirely deterministic universe, then how can you hold people responsible for their moral decisions, right? They would have
Then
always done
I
that. They had no
misunderstood it.
choice.
Then I misunderstood it. My
compatibilism,
personal view is
yeah,
that I think free will
attempts to marry
exists.
those
It's just not always the thing that we engage in, right? I think
Let's
that
get back
Compatibilism
to-
basically. Wait. The easiest way to understand it is compatibilism basically states that
We don't
yes,
need a
we
crash
have
course.
free will, right? But we were always going to choose that thing anyway, right? So we always have the free will to choose the thing that we want to choose, and that's the thing that we choose. But it's basically determinism.
Okay.
Anyway,
$5.50 Canadian dollars from Testicle Johnson to say, I, for one, appreciate you giving a space to elevate Black voices. Thank you, Wick. $5 from Goldfish X. A+ on this one, Wick. Separate request, but any chance of a stream about your experience inside than outside of the Mormon/LDS church someday? Maybe, right? It's a personal thing. I don't like being personal on my stream, but maybe. If you guys give me
But I don't know why.
to
I don't know why
address-
Ozzy brings
to
it up,
address.
like, these kinds
Yeah,
of-
I don't. We don't need to get lost in the roots.
$10,
I just
$10 from Lucy
if you-
Lemonbug, and you guys won't interrupt my money. $10
You're
from Lucy
basically-
Lemonbug to say, keep trying to build the bridge, and then live long and prosper emojis, which I don't know what they mean, but thank you for the
Yeah.
$10.
basically, if you were religious, Vivian, you'd be a Calvinist who basically says that it doesn't matter what you do; it's already predetermined where you're gonna go because of foreknowledge. But you're not religious.
Look, I don't want
But to answer, hold on. But to answer
don't wanna
Prime, I know.
Depends on your
y'all
definition
cutting
of
me
religion.
off. Relax.
I might be
Let me
religious.
finish. That's why y'all can't hear anything because y'all get too excited. Have some patience. Prime, he answered the question preemptively when he answered Wick's question in the very beginning. He said, okay, because I know people are going to bring up slavery, so I'm going to make the delineation between the economic ideation of slavery and the religious beliefs of Christianity. That even in Christianity, slavery was wrong. It was just an economic
What?
way of life.
No,
So hold
this
on,
is bullshit. No, this is bullshit.
I don't
Immediately after the
care,
Ten
Vivian.
Commandments-
I'm answering
I
Prime's
don't- I
question.
don't
Hey,
care
stop!
whether
don't
you
need
don't
to
Stop!
care.
Stop! Stop!
I don't
Only
care whether you
only
don't
I get
care.
to choose who talks. You made a claim. Let Vivian respond, and thank you for the bits, Vetter. Go ahead,
I
Vivian.
didn't even
Imme-
finish the
it-
claim. She has
You
nothing-
made the
she's-
claim.
Go
You
ahead.
made the claim. You said Christianity says that slavery is wrong, or slavery is even wrong in Christianity. But immediately after the Ten Commandments are handed down to Moses, God gives the instructions for how to treat your slaves. Like what you should do with a slave, how long you can keep a slave, how you can keep a slave in perpetuity if you want to. Like,
Yeah, that's the civics and ceremonial law that was done away with as the new covenant. Romans 8 versus Romans 7.
God is literally.
Are you? So my
enforcing
answer is
slavery.
insufficient. That's
What?
what you're saying. You don't like my answer. You don't like my. You don't
What?
like the Bible. You don't like what the Bible says. That's what it's saying. You don't
The
like
Bible says slavery
No.
is okay, and here's how to do it.
No, that's Old Testament, and this is because people were sinful. So it
Can
because
we avoid
hold
this
on,
conversation?
hold on,
Okay,
hold
no, can we
on.
avoid this
So-
conversation? I want to
that's
talk
why
about
I didn't even want to have this conversation.
Hold on, yeah, well, but you're doing it any which way. All right, so let's drop it then.
Yeah,
so, like,
I want to be
the
clear.
thing
I don't
was
want to have
talking
a
about was
religious
Wick.
conversation right now. We can do that another day. I want to hear what Prime has to say because I know Prime has his ABE soon, and I know he has to get to that.
Yeah.
So I want to give him some.
Yeah,
space.
but don't worry, the black people there are going to be late, so don't worry. It's like no big deal, as we can tell.
No.
But like you were talking about, or we were talking about like what the problem is with centrists and how they give them cover. Like they give them cover by pretending they're respectable, that their ideas are should be within the general they're acceptable for the general
Can you lay
zeitgeist
down on my
when without actually just calling them out for what they are. Now again, I don't mind you talking with this individual, right? But I think that when you say things like, well, yeah, I can't call you evil, right? I think you're actually evil, but like maybe you are, maybe you're a good person inside, right? Maybe you're ooey gooey, all right? Maybe you're just a big old teddy bear, right? I don't know. I can't look into your head, but like I do hear you talking about how gay people should go to hell. I do hear you talking about how they should be deported. I do hear like implying, because he didn't say it, right? Implying that he would do worse things to gay people, but he can't say so on YouTube, right? But yeah, but maybe he's a big old teddy bear. I don't know.
Again,
Who
I
is
said that
evil,
one
Wick?
line, and then everything after that was critical of what he was saying, hypercritical of what he was saying. But you kept interrupting me, so I couldn't be as critical as I wanted to.
No, don't
you
bullshit.
got in
Don't
my
bullshit.
way.
You have no. When you wanted me to quiet down, I quieted down. Don't bullshit me, right? You got a chance to say what you had to say,
but
and
I
right
had to stop you.
you have a chance to reiterate, right? So go ahead, reiterate. Like
Reiterate. I will reiterate what I was going to tell him. And what I did mostly tell him, you are correct. I mostly got it out, but it's showmanship, it's pageantry, and if you want to be strong with your message, people interrupting you doesn't help. But let me say this for the record, so you, Viv, all the leftists watching me who think, oh, you weren't hard enough on Bryson, right? Like, look, I cannot say whether he is evil or whether he is not, but at the end of the day, it does not matter because what he is doing unequivocally is, what he is advocating for unequivocally is, to deport whole loads of people based on immutable characteristics is evil. To advocate for violence against groups is evil. To, like, you make
so it's
these
exactly
faces,
what I just
these
said.
are evil
so
things.
exactly what I said. Great. Glad we agree. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I said.
So why are you fighting me?
Yeah, because I think what you're doing now is a bad thing. That's what I'm fighting
not
you
running
for. That's what
cover.
I'm
Oh my
criticizing you on.
It's not that bad. He's literally saying exactly what you're saying.
I know you run cover.
I got a question for you, Wick.
Yeah, hold on. What I described was not a good thing. I was describing a bad thing. So
And
when
he
I'm
was
criticizing
describing a
him,
bad thing.
yeah, no, oh my God, Ozzy, you're lost. You're lost right now.
I'm lost.
Yes, you're lost. You're lost. I am describing how I think his ideology is a problematic, right, and runs cover for people who want to do terrible things within our world.
Okay,
right? It gives them space where they wouldn't have otherwise.
He's literally saying the things he was advocating for are evil, but he's not an evil person.
And yeah, obviously, I know that. I already said that.
I know you said it already. You're just gonna run in circles.
I know people have to go, and I have to go. Vivian, ask your question. I will answer it, and then we'll wrap this up.
Sure. Is there anybody who is evil, Wick?
I think that yes, I do. I do believe.
Was Hitler evil?
I think.
I know. I don't want to go all Godwin's law, but we haven't got much time, so we'll just go. We'll go straight to the knuckle. Was Hitler an evil person?
I know that there is evil out there in the world. I know that there are people who are evil, but I cannot judge their hearts. So I cannot judge.
Just answer the fucking question. Was Hitler evil?
What he did was evil. Yes.
He was.
Why?
How do you know?
What he did was evil. What he did.
Okay, but how do you know? You can't see inside his head. You can't see inside his heart.
I don't need to say whether he's evil or not. I can say what he did was evil.
Okay,
That's
but was Hitler...
perfectly
So, okay,
acceptable.
so what you're saying is you don't know whether or not Hitler was evil.
I don't know what you think this is a gotcha. I don't know. If
It's
any
not. It's
individual
not a
person- I
gotcha,
cannot
Wick.
point
It's
to an
the point
individual
is
person.
the point is that your particular ideology prevents us from saying anybody is evil, and when we do say somebody
it
is
doesn't.
evil for their thoughts and
Oh,
actions.
stupid.
Yes,
I mean, if you
think that
can't say
should-
Hitler is evil, then yeah,
Okay,
I think pretty
I
much
think-
anybody can't reach the bar for Wick.
I think.
So
I think.
when wait, just let me finish. Sorry, as he interrupted me and fucking threw us off. 'cause
I
he's a
said
dickhead.
a few words.
But, like-
Stop the boohooing. 𝕵𝖎𝖙𝖘𝖍𝖔𝖜.
Vivian.
But like so and when we do call somebody evil, right, you roundly denounce us for fucking dehumanizing people, right? And I
As we
was
should.
using dehumanizing language
We should
dehumanizing
denounce you
language
just as
towards
much as you
fucking
denounce Bryson.
dehumanizing
we
language
shouldn't.
towards
no, Azzy,
people
I
who are
disavow. We shouldn't. No. Azzy,
I said
no,
don't let him derail.
They're
I'm
playing
not
identity
anyway. He's
politics.
saying
Focus,
some
yeah,
dumb-
focus.
Okay,
he's
let
saying-
me answer
he's
your
saying dumb
question.
shit.
Let me answer your question.
Yeah.
Let me answer or respond to your statement because it wasn't a question. You were making an accusation. Let me respond that, yeah, you're right. I don't think you should be calling anyone evil, but you should concentrate on their actions and call their actions evil. And the reason why I say that, right? The reason why I say that is because I think that it will have better outcomes, that we will be able to get further with our messaging. We'll be able to get further, and less evil will
Because
be in the
you're
world
more
if we do it
interested-
my way than
You're
your
more
way.
interested
Yes,
in-
I am interested
Wait,
first and foremost
You're
in less
more-
evil being in the world. That is my
Yes, me
first
too,
goal and
me
my
too.
last.
Me too, but you're more interested in fucking appeasing evil, trying to get evil to come and listen to you and sit down at the table with you so that you can maybe possibly somehow change evil's mind or change the minds of some people that are watching evil, right? Rather than actively fucking combating evil. We need to be able to classify
No.
something and someone as being a fucking evil person in order that we can take fucking action against them. It gives us the moral license to do the ostracization or go to fucking war against them or whatever needs to be fucking done, right? Because like I said earlier, they have thrown away their humanity of their own fucking volition.
We fundamentally disagree because I think you don't need to throw away someone's humanity to go to war with them, to kill them, to do all these things that we need to do. That is not a step that we necessarily
they have
need to
forfeit
take.
their
And let
right
me finish. I
to
let you
life.
finish. Let me finish, please. I think that
Sure.
I also want to combat evil. I just think my way of combating evil is going to be, over the long term, much more effective. That is our disagreement.
Yeah, but you don't combat evil.
I mean-
right? You gave it
Whoa.
space, right? You coddle it. You say like, oh, I guess you're probably a good
I
guy.
don't
We just have
flee
a
from
few
the
disagreements.
battlefield.
Let's
No,
do
I'm not-
bridge
if
building
you
with
think
Hitler.
Me
You would
bringing
bridge
someone
build
into
with
my
Hitler.
house
You will
is
have a
coddling
Neville.
them?
You have a Neville.
You're a fucking Neville
Chamberlain.
Chamberlain.
This is you. That's exactly
fucking
you.
a
You would
appeaser,
bridge
dude.
build with Adolf Hitler because I can't tell if he's evil or not. I can't be sure. I don't know.
Last word.
How
James.
much
$2
of Europe
from
would
the
you
trip
give?
to say all three of you are evil. Prove me wrong.
How
Fair
much
enough.
of Europe would you give Hitler before you went
I
to
would
war with him?
oppose
I'm just wondering.
from the get-go, but I wouldn't need him called
Right, but would
evil
you
to
let
do
him?
so.
Would you let him take a little bit of
I wouldn't need to call him
Poland?
evil to stop him
half
from
of
taking even
Poland?
just the tip.
Even
Okay,
just the tip. Just the tip.
I have to go. I
All
love
right.
you, both of you. I
I'm,
love
I'm
you.
glad we established that we
But you are
don't know
both
whether or
wrong
not
on
Hitler's
this, and we will
evil.
fight again. I promise.
No,
you.
it's fine, Wick. You don't know whether Hitler's evil. I'm quite
Yes.
confident in saying Hitler was evil.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
I think that's what we've discovered in
I
this
think
conversation.
I think my ideology stands on firmer ground than yours, right?
You're
I
just
think,
wrong in that. But
I
that's
think
fair.
definitely
I know
the
that's what you
case,
think.
right?
I know that's.
Well,
what
I mean,
you
how
believe,
would
but
you
it's
know?
just
I mean, you can't
wrong.
look at my mind, so you don't really know my ideology, so you can't really judge my ideology. So how would you know
I
how
can say
strong
what
it
your
is?
ideology,
There's
what
no
you're
evidence.
saying is wrong.
There's no
I can
evidence. Yeah,
judge that.
there's no evidence. But you
Right.
wouldn't want to call me a person of weak ideology. Certainly not, right? Because like that would be a judgment call. You couldn't do anything like that. But all right,
It's
thank
fine.
you,
You don't
Wick.
understand it. I get it. I love you
understand.
anyway.
No, I understand it, and I understand how dangerous it is. I definitely understand it. But
Okay.
Wick, I love you. You're an amazing individual, despite everything I just said about
I
you.
will talk
the
to you
last half
both
hour.
later. What do we got coming up? Tomorrow, Katie, because she did an evil act, right, has to reschedule. And I can't stream tomorrow because that was my content. Saturday, however, we're going to be talking about whether React content is theft. So we're gonna have a special Saturday stream at 6 p.m. Eastern. Tune in for that. We're gonna have Will and his channel on. We're gonna have President Sunday on. We're gonna have a few people on. So check us out then. Next week, Monday, we're gonna be talking about dating and relationships with Nev the Robot from WhatsoEver podcast. We're also going to be having on Rora Pickles and Carissa Avalon will be joining us, Hunter's wife. So tune in for that. Should be great. We're trying to get one more guest on, but we'll see. Wednesday, we are going to be talking about the state of Ukraine, and we're going to be having some tankies on and some pro-Russian, pro-Putin, not pro-Putin, I'm sorry, pro-Ukrainian people on to talk about that. So some pro versus anti when it comes to the war on Ukraine. See you guys then. Peace out, Scouts. Who are we raiding? Oh, thank you for the $5 in pursuit of knowledge. Wick believes in the golden rule. Vivian and Prime don't. They are evil. Keep up the good fight week. They are not evil. Okay, I will say that. X Natural Phenomenon X for $5. There ain't no good guy. There ain't no bad guy. It's just you and me, and we just disagree. Maybe, right? I don't know if we disagree. But thank you for the money. Oh, who is coming on? So, we got Brianna Wu. We have Ukrainian Anna, I think that's her name. For the anti side, and we have a surprise guest for Wednesday too. I don't want to reveal the surprise. But on the anti side, so far I'm still recruiting, but we have non-smoker and Ancom Cycle. So, and apparently a surprise to both of us guests for Wednesday. So tune in, check it out. Let's see how it goes. Where are we rating? We're rating Nina. Is that who we're rating into? Nina? We're not rating Prime? Prime gave us his time. We're not going to rate Prime? What do you guys think? 1's in chat for Nina, 2's in chat for Prime. 1's in chat for Nina, 2's in chat for Prime. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, it's pretty. Oh, we got a couple ones, but mostly it's 2s, so we're gonna go to Prime. Okay, make sure to tell him hey. Make sure to let him know that we don't know if he's evil or not. We can't judge him based on his heart, but we can judge him on his actions. And tell him it's a hate raid. Okay, talk to you later. Bye. See you later, YouTube.